Hey guys, welcome back to The Blissful Athlete. Thank you for tuning in as always. Today I want to teach you how to create the grooves of creativity, brought to you by His Holiness Paramahamsa Nithyananda. So for those of you who do not know me, my name is Sri Nithyananda. I am a disciple of His Holiness Paramahamsa Nithyananda, and I give a lot of insights and details to the behind the scenes life that Swamiji is living, and mainly in my Facebook page, but a lot of my YouTube content is coming from Swamiji himself, and I am so blessed to be one of the individuals that is actually extremely close to him, and I get to be there when he's coming out of Samadhi and coming and meeting all of his closest disciples in his personal courtyard. And just this past night, he gave us yet another gem talking about how creativity is actually developed and the science behind the brain and ultimately reaching that space of Brahma, enlightenment itself. So I'll give you a quick rundown of what happened last night. As he came out of Samadhi in his courtyard with all of us disciples around him, he had mentioned that what is actually happening with creativity and the intelligence of the mind here in India. You see a lot of software engineers here in general in India, because they had this incredible way of visualizing and generating their own reality within their brain as they grew up, because they didn't have television as they do in the Western world. But what he was saying was now today, in the modern times, India is also being victimized with this culture of, coming home from work, or even just sitting and watching TV and watching hours and hours of video content. And so now today he's saying that there's not going to be that same level of software engineers that there is in this generation. The next generation, it is done for as far as Indians go, being that top tier individual. That intellect is no longer going to be there. And the interesting reason why he said this was because they are not visualizing like they did back in the day when there was no TV. And the reason behind this, the science behind this, is that the brain grooves themselves, when you're visualizing, when you're creating your reality, enjoying your reality within your own mind, you're developing subtle grooves, deep grooves, and this is proven by modern science, that is created by the dopamine that's released within the brain. And what happens is the dopamine is very deeply embedded within the brain. It's in a deep layer, and it's released to 1,000 different areas within the brain. And this is actually related to the Sahasrara chakra. For those of you who understand yogic terminology, the 7 layers, the 7 chakras that exist within us. 1,000-petal lotus is what the Sahasrara chakra is epitomized as. It's pictured as. And the reason why it's 1,000-petal lotus is because there's 1,000 different grooves that the dopamine runs through within your brain. So just to generate creativity within your life, all you have to do is develop these grooves. And the way I like to explain this is, if you're a snowboarder going down a mountain, you get to take one path on fresh powder, but then you go back up to the mountain and you take that same exact path, then the groove of that path is going to get deeper and deeper. The more runs that you take on that path, the deeper and deeper the groove. So the visualization, the playing within your own reality, within your mind, is a good thing. This has nothing to do with ADHD, a made-up disease. The visualization for us when we're younger is extremely powerful and beneficial for us. And like I said, these 1,000-petal lotuses, these 1,000 paths that the dopamine goes across, is the science of reaching that Brahma state, reaching the enlightenment state. And of course, we all kind of know now that what dopamine is bringing is that pleasure, the pleasure chemical, the serotonin, all these different neuroepinephrines, all these different neurotoxins, not neurotoxin, but all these different chemicals that are releasing the feel-good pleasures within the brain. Well, naturally, when you reach that state of Brahma, the most euphoric feeling happens, and this is coming from my own experience, that is just a complete override of the system that you have come to understand as today. And so generating the grooves of creativity is as simple as developing your visualization and really creating that space of restful awareness. Because when you're in that space of restful awareness, serotonin is naturally released from the brain. You're creating those grooves to reach the 1,000-petal lotus. And now the science of this is when the Kundalini is awakened, that inner potential energy that's laying dormant within your spine, when it's awakened and goes up through the spine and reaches the Sahasrara chakra, that is when we reach the state of Nirvikalpa Samadhi. And so the science of enlightenment is right there, and it was gifted by His Holiness Paramahamsa Nithyananda last night. And he said to us, he's like, all you have to do to become popular on YouTube is literally just blurt out and blabber whatever I say when I come out of Samadhi. And so that's exactly what I'm doing today. I'm so blessed to be one of his closest disciples and get to be with him in his courtyard on a regular basis and listen to him and experience these deep truths that he blurts out when he comes out of Samadhi. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. What I'm going to do is completely give a download to everybody out there of the deep secrets that Swamiji releases in his secret life, as he calls it. A lot of people see him in the public life, in his public discourses, but you guys don't get to experience him on the personal level like I do. And so if you're interested in learning more about these deep secrets, you can also subscribe to the channel, and I'll be sure to give you some of those as well. So I hope you guys enjoy this content. Please don't think that this was my discovery. This is only a discovery of Swamiji, and I'm extremely blessed to be able to share this with you. Looking forward to seeing you on the next video. As always, guys, be blissful.